Hey, it's your girl, Griselda. How y'all doing today? Happy Tuesday. Was having this conversation I want to talk to you guys about, bring it up here because it's really relevant to everything in terms of esoteric knowledge and philosophy and colonization. Apparently, the Democratic Party opened up yesterday with some acknowledgement of the fact that this country was founded because it stole land from indigenous people, and sort of acknowledging that more and more. I think even the Pope did that, didn't he? Like I don't know, maybe 3 years ago or something, at some event, he acknowledged the atrocities of the church, right, and what they did to Native people. There's a couple of things I want to talk about in terms of these frameworks and these conversations and how they are coming up now in the collective and becoming more and more of a, mainstream way to approach our reality and the way that we are dissecting and looking at the foundations of civilization, Western civilization, in terms of especially the land that is known as the United States of America, which this clearly happened in Canada and Mexico and South America and Central America and so on. Pretty much everywhere, right? But we're talking about this particular space here. So, I have been in conversation with people about this, and what I hear a lot is, oh, Native Americans were fighting each other for land all the time, and they were warring. There were tribal wars for land and territory. Yes, there were a lot of wars between tribes for territory. What's different, though, fundamentally, and this fundamental difference actually truly matters, is fighting for territory is not the same as fighting for land ownership, which fundamentally, philosophically, spiritually, tribal communities don't and haven't really ever looked at land as something to be owned. And that matters. So when we have colonial forces coming here, right, they come here with a manifest destiny in their minds and in their hearts and in their souls, which creates an entitlement. So to them, nature is not the truth. To indigenous people, nature is the truth. That matters. And so I want to bring that up. So when colonizers come here, they bring with them the mindset of imperialism, which is a false morality, which creates a moral superiority, right? And in doing that, they are morally superior to and above indigenous people, which remain animals in terms of this hierarchical specialness or chosenness by God, because manifest destiny as a doctrine, that's what that means. We are the people selected, chosen by, and therefore better than all the other that is not us, to take and pillage and rape in the name of God, because it is ours to do that. And so that is like rape culture, right? So rape culture goes beyond what is obvious when we talk about rape culture. It is, you can see inside of it layers of correspondence deep into the esoteric realms, deep behind the veil symbolically, into the symbol, and then into the literal outside of the veil, right? You have to be able to follow those lines of correspondence to see it and understand what I'm talking about. And it's all connected to the feminine principle, isn't it? So the Native American people, indigenous people, have a direct relationship with the land, with nature's cycles, with reality. Colonizers and people who have been uprooted from that relationship with the land in a spiritual way, in reality, have adopted a new God, which is the God of the Christian church, which is inside of the Abrahamic triad, which brings a false morality, which means, hey, Lilith, get beneath me. I am Adam, mankind. You are nature, Lilith. You must get beneath me. and this is your place to be beneath me according to the law, the new law, this law of God and this monotheism that replaces natural law with a new, very subjective moral law that just so happens to put me on top of everybody else, right? So it's all about power. So when people tell me, well, the Native Americans fought each other for the land, well, they fought for territory and resource, but no matter how much they might have been temporary enemies, because at the end of the day, a lot of them actually reconciled and wound up sharing resources, just if you learn about the history. So they definitely killed each other. And, this happened. But it matters that the foundational way that they approached living life was still with nature's rhythms, living in reality. And they understood that they could not own the land. I mean, that wasn't even a thing. So the concept of land ownership, we stole the land, we stole the land and created something called commoditization. We commoditized. We began to commoditize nature, which didn't exist before. So for whatever it's worth here, I think it's worth mentioning so that when people approach you and tell you these things, they must understand that it's apples and oranges. Sure, yes, tribes have always fought for territory. This is the history of mankind. What's different about what has happened with colonization is a widespread taking over, imposing power, and it's through one God, right? United underneath church and state. This sort of this imperialism and this empire state of mind is very, very different than the way that tribal communities looked at nature and the land they were on, despite how much they would fight each other. It matters. This philosophy matters. The difference of philosophy matters. That we can't own nature, and that we're all just kind of in a house made of cards and pretending like we do, when we really don't, because the handshake, says that, when even after the handshake, it's still not true. So reality matters. And then we are playing a game, not really living in reality. So there you go. Ownership versus territory. It's different. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later.